Hey, everybody, hope all is well. Let's check out this article, and I wanted to kind of point out something. It is about R. Kelly. Aura. And here we go. R. Kelly's former goddaughter breaks down at his federal trial in Chicago, telling jury he filmed them having sex while she was a minor. This is the goddaughter. And I definitely see something wrong with Aura. Her is in a little jumpsuit. For the first time after two decades of swirling allegations, R. Kelly's former goddaughter has taken a stand as a prosecution witness in a case against the disgraced singer. Dressed in a white blazer with her hair in long braids, the woman, now 37, and testifying at Kelly's federal trial in Chicago under the pseudonym Jane, told the jury she had sexual contact with Kelly for the first time at 14. After testifying calmly for nearly 2 hours, Jane's voice grew quieter and began to break as she was asked to describe sexual encounters that Kelly recorded, including the now infamous tape at the center of Kelly's 2008 child pornography trial. One of the videos expected to be played for jurors showed Jane and Kelly having oral sex in the living room of his Lakeview home, she said. He could be seen giving her champagne and telling her to refer to her genitalia as 14 years old, she said. Then he urinated on her, she said in a voice almost too soft to bear, dabbing tears from her eyes. On another video from about the same time, Jane testified, filmed in the wood panel jacuzzi room in Kelly's basement, Kelly appeared to hand her money before they have sex. So this was filmed. When the prosecutor asked why he gave her money, Jane started to cry, audibly saying, after a long pause, quote, because if anybody saw the tape or if it was released for some reason, he wanted it to appear as if I was a prostitute, end quote. As she said it, Jane looked sadly down at the table in front of her. Seated at the defense table across the courtroom, Kelly shook his head. Their sex acts escalated to intercourse when she was 15, she said, asked by a prosecutor how she knew her exact age. Jane calmly responded, quote, because that's when I lost my virginity, end quote. After that, they had sex innumerable times, sometimes along with other teenage girls whom Jane recruited at Kelly's request, she said. The encounters took place in Kelly's home on West George Street, at his near West Side recording studio, on tour buses, and in hotels in Chicago and elsewhere, she said. Two of the other minor victims are also expected to testify against Kelly later in the trial. To illustrate how young she looked at the time of the encounters, prosecutors had Jane identify two photos of herself from her childhood. The first, taken when she was a sophomore in high school, showed her on one knee holding a basketball, smiling. The other was a headshot from when she was in a music group at 13, around the time, she said, she first met Kelly. Jane and her parents had denied for years that Kelly ever had an inappropriate relationship with her, including to a grand jury in 2002. So a mother and father in the home, she and her parents denied it for years. Jane was not called to testify at Kelly's 2008 Cook County trial for child pornography, even though county prosecutors alleged she was the girl on the tape. Federal prosecutors alleged Kelly and his associates paid off Jane and her family and covered up other videotapes in order to rig his Cook County trial. He was acquitted on those charges in 2008. Jane told the jury Thursday that when Chicago police first began investigating her relationship with Kelly in 2000, she denied it because he told her he'd be ruined if it came out. That was something I would take to my grave, she said, adding that Kelly told her she did a good job answering their questions. Things escalated in early 2002, however, when her aunt, Stephanie Sparkle Edwards, told her there was a sex tape leaked depicting Jane and Kelly and that it was going to go public. She said Kelly continued to stress how important it was to continue to deny it. A short time later, Kelly met with Jane and her parents to tell them the truth about their relationship and to apologize and to try to keep them on his side, she said. I just remember my dad storming out, Jane testified. He was saying, I can't help you. I can't help you. He was hysterical. Jane said Kelly decided to send them to the Bahamas and Cancun, Mexico, so they would not be accessible to police and the media. Quote, there was a lot of negative attention happening around the videotape, and Robert wanted us to leave the country to pretty much clear our heads and figure out our approaches going forward, end quote, Jane testified. Earlier in her testimony, Jane told the jury, said she was starstruck when she first met Kelly in the 1990s, especially after he attended a performance of her music group and gave her good feedback. It made me feel happy that such a successful person was saying I was gifted, so I was excited, she said. She began to visit Kelly's studio regularly when she was 12 or 13, along with Edwards, her aunt, a protege of Kelly's. Edwards, and they're referring to Sparkle, I believe, Edwards advised her she should ask Kelly to be her godfather, she said. She said, I should sit on his lap and rub his head and ask him to play that role in my life, Jane testified. She did, and Kelly chuckled a bit and said yes. After that, the relationship took a sexual turn, Jane said. She would have long phone conversation with him that eventually turned explicit, she said. She was 13 years old. Kelly also gave her alcohol for the first time when she was 14, and she began drinking heavily. It would loosen me up, kind of take me away from the moment, she said. Early in her career, Jane remained calm on the witness stand, keeping her gaze on the prosecutor asking her questions, pausing at times to sweep her braids off her shoulder or to wipe at her eyelashes. Kelly showed little outward reaction to her testimony. When it came time for the witness to testify, Kelly in the courtroom, U.S. District Judge Harry Linenweber instructed everyone in the room to remove their mask. Then Jane said she saw the singer sitting at the defense table in a blue suit jacket. After Assistant U.S. Attorney Janice Appenting asked Jane to testify, another article of clothing Kelly was wearing, Kelly's attorney Jennifer Bogine said loud in the microphone, so stipulated it's Mr. Kelly. Wow. Prosecutors earlier called to the witness stand a man who in 2001 purchased a big house in Lakeview, a converted church with a swimming pool and a basketball court and a barbershop. The previous owner was, he came to find out, RKelly. Kelly allegedly filmed at least one of the videos at his issue in his federal indictment at that home. And in 2002, police evidence technicians came through to take photos, including pictures of the wood panel room depicted on the tape. So it sounds like he was using those businesses to record the degradation. Wow. After Matthew Holsizer moved in, he found out that a smoke detector in at least one of the bedrooms was not in fact a smoke detector at all. It concealed a small hidden camera video. And in order to leave the bedroom, you had to press a button, he said, a feature he removed since he thought it was a Safety hazard. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the article here. You can check it out on Yahoo. But here's what I want to get to. Here we have a preteen. Don't forget, she brought in other girls. So here we have a young girl being sacrificed. Don't forget. Also, it's all about protecting who? All about protecting a Dusty. As I said before, said again. In the BC, if you are a depraved Dusty, if you're a dust bucket, that is who's protected. Not the women and children, but the Dusty man. If you're a Dusty black man, you are protected. And then I thought about, so the father, the mother and the father and the girl lying to protect who? The dust bucket on the screen. Then he pays for them to leave the country so they can go ahead and, I guess, clear their heads. No, he paid them to leave anyone, I would think, is to protect himself so they can't be found. And out of all this going on, a father in the home now, in the home, supposed to be a provider and a protector. This story tells me it appears we have a father in the home, but the protection was gone. He stormed out. He was hysterical. Most men, I would imagine, would have maybe caught those hands. RKelly didn't catch those hands. He stormed out. What was his statement? I can't help you. I can't help you. Oh, really? In the BC, the women and children are sacrificed every day. Every day sacrificed. And I was like, after reading this, so a father in the home, and he was hysterical. But yet and still, RKelly didn't catch those hands. He didn't catch them by the collar quick. There was no altercation where the father lost it, and being that it's his beloved daughter, may have, grabbed RKelly. I'm not saying I promote violence, but I'm just letting you know this lets you know the fake outrage. He was hysterical. Oh, really? Take her back to that. Let RKelly take her back to the father's car. Let's see what will happen. I'm willing to bet you get a greater reaction. You might catch those hands. And yet the whole family lied and took a trip out of the country. What you want to bet? The money? You think that just went empty-handed? I mean, this is a payoff. It's clear to me. In common sense terms, yeah, payoff. So even with a father in the home, it appears for black women the protection is gone. I just, it's like you're pimping out the children. I bet you if somebody would have taken let's say that man sitting out in his home relaxing, chilling, and watching a sports event, and somebody would take a bat to his vehicle and start beating it, you would more than likely get a greater reaction than a man assaulting and defiling his daughter. Let me know what you guys think. So the father, he just stormed out the room. Oh, you don't want to hit money bags, huh? That's what I think. That's all you did? He was hysterical. I can't help you. Really? Really? This woman is damaged. How could she not be? And then to realize your family unit. Isn't she related to Sparkle? Sit on his lap and rub his head. This woman has to be damaged because her family unit, her safety net, is the one that, in my opinion, there's no way around this, who basically assisted in her being defiled and degraded. And she's a mother. So now a wounded woman is now a mom. Yeah, I believe she's got kids. And all to protect the dust bucket on the screen. We have a major issue. And it's in all communities, all nationality. But I'm talking about this community. Because even when some may have a slither of protection, we don't even have that. The reaction of the father, oh my goodness. Most men would have came out of a bag and lost it. Man, there would have been an altercation. As they say, old school, would have been some furniture moving. As a female, no, I would have just probably lost it. I might be trying to do a video from the jump to trying to borrow a cell phone. Hey, can I borrow your for your cell phone? Jane and her parents denied for years. Gee, I wonder who told her besides Aura, who told her, influenced her to deny it. Why? What does it say to this woman? Your parents. We're going to lie to the end, huh? All to protect Aura. And I believe the allegation from the federal prosecutors had to have. Federal prosecutors allege Kelly and his associates paid off Jane and her family and covered up other videotapes in order to rig his Cook County trial. And as a result, he was acquitted. I definitely believe that. Why do you think he didn't catch those hands from that man supposed to be her father? Mama, what were you doing? It didn't say she was in hysterics. Are you pimping out your own kid? And she said, it was something I would take to my grave. So think, you see your mother and your father on the side of your abuser, of your defiler. And don't forget the Aunt Sparkle. It escalated in 2002. However, when her Aunt Stephanie Sparkle Edwards told her there was a sex tape leaked depicting Jane and Kelly and that it was going to go public, she said Kelly continued to stress how important it was to continue to deny it. So I guess daughters are for sale. It's the same thing. I read a horrible story about some girl begging her mother for her to make it and getting Disney. Parents pimping the children. What her mother said, I'm not even going to repeat it. Just sick. But Becky got the part. Yeah, she's on Disney. Her mother took her as a teen to a hotel. And in the hotel room, in a suite, there were boys. Boys. And her mother dropped her off and left. And just told her to open her mouth and the two things you walk on. Sick. And the girl became a Disney star. Oh, but then guess what happened? She said she was on Disney. That's what I recall reading. Then you look up, the stardom has, all of a sudden, the girl wants to hurt herself. The mother still try to act brand new. You want to hurt yourself? Oh, you wonder why? Drinking or a drug problem? Parents. It starts in the home. That mother knew darn well what she was doing to her daughter. She knew. Heck, come on, really? To say when you go in there, just open your mouth and the two things you walk on. Are you serious? Sick. So you wonder why a lot of these young people are messed up? Check that home I found. I don't care about the picture on the mantle, on the fireplace, and it was Christmas, and it was Easter Sunday, and they got together, and his mother and father in the home. Don't mean jack. Some of these parents are sick and whack like that. It's like you're pimping your children. So let me know what you guys think. Even with a father in the home, seems the protection was gone. And I'm out.